If you've been scrolling through endless espresso machine reviews, comparing specs, watching YouTube unboxings, and you still feel that knot of uncertainty, stick around. This review is meant to cut through the noise and help you decide whether the Breville Barista Pro actually fits into your kitchen routine or if you'd be better off looking elsewhere. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have with a home espresso machine is the balance between cafe-quality coffee and the amount of time you'll actually spend on it every day. You might imagine grinding beans, tamping, pulling a shot, then frothing milk, all while the machine takes a half hour to warm up. The Barista Pro promises a faster heat-up and an integrated grinder, which sounds like it could shrink that ritual down to something you can actually fit between a morning email and a commute. Let's see if that promise holds up when you actually press the button. When you unpack the Barista Pro, the first thing you notice is the built-in conical burr grinder right on top of the boiler. That design means you don't have to buy a separate grinder or worry about matching grind size to pressure. The DOS control knob lets you dial in how many grams of coffee you want for each shot, which is a nice middle ground between the one-size-fits-all machines and the fully manual grinders that require a separate scale. In practice, I found that setting the dial to the middle range gave me a consistent dose for a double shot without having to count beans or weigh anything. If you already own a high-end grinder, you might feel you're paying for redundancy, but for most home users the integrated grinder eliminates a whole piece of equipment and the space it would take. The heating system is a thermoblock, which is the same technology Breville uses in its lower-priced models, but the Barista Pro bumps the power up to achieve a heat-up time of around 3 minutes. In a real-world scenario, that means you can start your morning routine, have the machine ready by the time you finish brushing your teeth, and pull a shot without waiting for the boiler to stabilize. The downside is that the faster heat-up also draws a bit more power, so you'll notice the plug getting warm if you're running it off a surge protector for a long stretch. It's not a safety issue, just something to be aware of if you're sensitive to energy usage. Now, about the espresso itself. Breville's optimal water pressure claim translates to a 15-bar pump, which is pretty standard for home machines. What makes a difference is how the machine regulates that pressure throughout the extraction. The Barista Pro's digital temperature control, PID, keeps the water at the target temperature within a narrow band, which helps avoid the bitter over-extraction that cheaper machines sometimes produce. In my kitchen tests, pulling a shot with freshly roasted single-origin beans gave me a crema that held its color for about 30 seconds and a flavor profile that highlighted the beans' fruit notes without a burnt edge. If you're used to muddy espresso from entry-level machines, this is a noticeable upgrade. Milk texturing is where the Barista Pro tries to stand out for latte lovers. The manual steam wand offers enough power to create microfoam, but it still requires a bit of technique. I found that using a stainless steel pitcher, submerging the wand just below the surface, and gradually lowering it as the milk expands produced a silky foam suitable for latte art. The microfoam claim isn't a magic button, it's a result of consistent steam pressure and a well-designed wand. If you're a beginner, you'll likely spend a few tries getting the right texture, but once you have the rhythm, it's comparable to what you'd get at a mid-range CAF. For those who never plan to make milk-based drinks, the steam wand is essentially extra hardware you won't use. One practical strength that often gets overlooked is the machine's water reservoir. It's a 2-liter stainless steel tank that slides out for easy filling, and the level indicator is clear enough that you won't run out mid-shot. In a small apartment, the footprint of the Barista Pro is roughly the size of a standard coffee maker, so it fits on a countertop without demanding a dedicated nook. However, the machine does have a few hidden trade-offs. The drip tray is shallow, so if you tend to spill a lot while tamping or steaming, you'll need to empty it frequently. Also, the integrated grinder can get a little dusty over time. A quick brush out once a month keeps it from affecting grind consistency. Who should consider buying the Barista Pro? If you're a coffee enthusiast who wants to move beyond instant coffee or pre-ground beans, appreciate the convenience of an all-in-one setup, and are willing to spend a few minutes each morning to dial in grind size and tamp, this machine hits a sweet spot. It's also a good fit for small households where space is at a premium, you get grinding, brewing, and steaming in one chassis, saving